It's time once again to spin the wheel of problematic and decide which topic randomly selected is problematic this week.
So
Nate,
random.
Nate, you wanna do the honors?
Yes, thank you so much. And away we go. Whew, it's about time. The wheel selected gluten.
Ooh.
Prophecy foretells of a podcast so stunning, so brave, that it could only ever go by one name. A show so woke that it became its own gender. A show so hot that we'll understand if it turns you gay. You're listening to Stunning and Brave with Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson.
Welcome once again to another edition of Stunning and Brave with Chris and Nate. I am Chris Cowan, and with me, as always,
I'm Nate. Hello, everyone.
hey. It's always good to be here. This show is the wokest show on the internet. If you were thinking, some other show had that spot, you're wrong. We are
Dead
the
wrong.
most progressive, leftist, wokest show on the internet. And as we often like to point out, we go so far to the left that we come back around to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all leftism kind of does eventually.
Just keep heading left. You'll eventually get to right.
Yep. Keep heading left, and you'll start bringing back segregation again, and just all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, we are Stunning and Brave, and it's always good to be in your ears, or if you're listening to us on a speaker or whatever, that's cool too. We're the sound waves, I guess, are still reaching your ears, so that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
I had a thought and I totally lost it, and it was going to be freaking amazing.
It makes for riveting listening.
I got a text from my wife, and it was loud in my ear because I'm stupid and I have my texts synced to my computer. Because you can do that if you have iPhones and Macs and stuff.
You're like that company that Ryan started on The Office.
Right. It's like a woof. It's exactly like that. I get notified on all my devices. The most annoying thing is when it's a freaking phone call. Because
Does it just interrupt everything?
It just interrupts everything. I'll be on a conference meeting or something, and I'll just start and I'm and it switches the audio somehow, and I can't even and I totally miss whatever the person was saying, and I'm having this deep heart to heart with that person, and I get this stupid phone call in the middle of it, and I'll have to pretend I just heard what they said. And I totally
that
didn't.
really is a shame about your father. I was thinking just
really rough.
Flags. You could probably, have maybe just one or two things notify you of a phone call. That's probably enough to do the job, right?
You would think, but for some reason I haven't disconnected.
Yeah, you haven't delved deep enough into the options.
Yeah, and so and this was just a text, but it was multiple texts, and it's loud and in my ears, and so totally
can I
threw off my groove.
Can I ask you, does your better half send you machine gun?
Whoa!
What?
Please don't assume that she's my better half. Honestly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, that's okay. Well,
wow.
She doesn't listen anyway. She doesn't listen anyway. It's fine.
Very rude.
Well, mine listens to this, so I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I'm going to refer to her as better half.
I'm curious. You to grovel.
Do you text people? Do you get in text conversation with people that do machine gun texting? Just brief, bursts of 2 or 3 words, one right after another for a loop of 10 or 15.
I'm probably that person, honestly.
Are
that's
you?
Probably
okay.
me. Yeah. Well, because
okay.
I text like I talk, and like it's a chat, like we're in a chat room or something. Like
Sure.
that's what the iPhone has done. I remember when I first got an iPhone, and wait, hold on. Oh, it's not even in the right browser. Never mind. It's not going to play. Never mind. I can never.
There's two pauses.
I can never get that stupid sound effect to work. I don't know
One of
what
these
it
days,
is.
you'll get your soundboard just the way you want it, Chris.
One of these days.
Yeah.
Just you wait. Then
Just
you'll see.
you
You'll all
wait.
see.
So
Wow.
you send.
Whoa! Stop it! Oh my
What
gosh!
are you doing?
Could you hear that?
No, I can't hear anything.
Oh man. Okay. Well, our listeners heard it. That's what matters.
Oh, okay. That's truly what matters then.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
all
you were
right.
saying.
No, so you were saying that the iPhone has changed your
Yeah. Oh,
eloquence, as it were.
well, it not okay. So what it has changed is, do you remember like when you first got like a smartphone and you
Yes.
like, I don't, maybe you already had unlimited texting, but I didn't. And so when I went
Yeah.
from when you had the flip phone and you like had to like struggle to type each letter because you had to like
Yes.
click 3 times for each letter.
Oh man, it was like Morse code. It was fantastic.
Yeah. And maybe the autocomplete thing would kind of work, maybe not. But
Yeah.
so you'd like, you everything you wanted to get in that conversation, you'd like put in one text message.
Right.
But then when the iPhone came out, and it's this cute little like talkie balloon bubble, and it looks exactly like a chat app that you previously only used on computers, like
Right.
AOL Instant
Good old
Messenger,
AOL,
MSN or something. Man, we're dating ourselves. Think about
We're
that. Like
so old.
there are adults who have no idea what we're talking about right now.
No. Well, they never had to dial into a computer. What?
Right. Not even dialing into a computer though. Just like having like the way you would text was completely different from how you would chat on a computer app. And the only
Yes.
way to like have a chat app would be on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so when text became almost exactly like chat, totally changed the way I talked, and I would send stuff in like multiple messages. And then all of a sudden I got the texting bill because I was paying 10 cents each.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, what
Holy
the frick?
cow.
And so that's when I switched to unlimited.
I remember, I don't know if because it took me forever to get a cell phone. And so I think by the time I actually got a cell phone, I don't think they had a per text charge. But I do remember my sister, who was
right.
she went on her senior trip. I think it was like to Hawaii or something, with her class at the end of high school. And I think she borrowed one of my parents' phones, or they got her like a little like secondary phone or something like that to take on the trip. And that was at the time that they were charging per text.
Oh.
And so
oh.
So she didn't know that. My parents didn't know that. And so they split the senior class up into like 2 or 3 different hotels. And so when everybody's starting to have this cell phone technology, you're not going to call people up in their rooms. You're not going to ask the concierge to, you're going to text somebody
right
in the next hotel. So these people just had like text wars between themselves for the whole week when they're on this trip. And when she got back, my parents got the phone bill. It was fantastic. Oh, that was wonderful. Just listening in on that. That was so great. Mwah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that was boy, how times have changed, huh?
Yes, yeah. The very, very different now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are clearly a couple of of old codgers.
We are. We'll
Let's
admit it. We'll own it.
let's go ahead and before we embarrass ourselves further, let's embarrass ourselves further by doing a privilege check.
Check your privilege.
All right, this is the part of the show where we just kind of confess whatever was, maybe things that have recently affected our privilege in some way. Maybe it's boosted our privilege, or maybe it's just just helped us to recognize the privilege we had inside us all along.
If you believe in your privilege,
Yes.
then shoot for the stars.
If you look for it, you'll find it.
That's right. I do believe in privilege. I do.
Nate, you want to talk about yours?
Oh yeah. Okay. So a couple. What was it? A few episodes back, I was talking about the possibility of my family getting to go to the happiest place on earth, aka the most expensive place on earth, aka Disneyland.
Yes.
Because they did in fact open up Disneyland again, and they were taking reservations. So I bought tickets, which could have been a down payment on a car, really, at that point.
Right.
How much I actually had to drop for tickets for us to go.
Probably could have been a car.
You can't just have tickets. You got to make a reservation now. You have to make a reservation for the exact days that you want to go. And so, like a schmuck, I was just gearing up my Disney app in order to try and get these reservations as soon as they were available. Turns out there wasn't much of a rush to actually get oh my gosh, like the days we're going, I looked on the calendar just like yesterday and all of them have availability for both parks. And I made the reservations like I think like over a week ago. So awesome. Yeah, I mean I don't think people are hurrying back. I mean, it turns out apparently pandemic hit some people kind of hard to the point where they have other stuff they need to focus on. Huh. So
Didn't see that coming.
I'm the schmuck that dropped, like I said, the equivalent of a down payment on a car on tickets. Wow. And it was one of those feelings of elation at first, because it's like, oh crap, we're actually going to go to Disneyland,
right? And
then the cold truth of being the budget planner for the trip set in lightning fast, and then it was like, oh crap, we're going to Disneyland.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, we just spent most of the saved up trip money on tickets. Yep. So I guess we better start saving for the rest of it.
My kids, don't expect anything for Christmas.
Yeah, no, this is it. It's your ticket. That's all you get. But yeah, man, it's just, and then I was just doing the math like in my head, and I was like, okay, well, I better start doing some more recordings real fast here on Fiverr.
Oh yeah, yeah. Start doing those, earn that voiceover money.
That's right.
Yeah, in some ways, this is kind of the best time to go to Disneyland or anything that's normally super crowded like that, because
so I hear,
because you're, what is it, 33% max capacity or something?
I think right now very soon it's going to be 35. And then what's this? Ooh. Some sort of magic announcement apparently that Newsom's going to make in mid-June. Like what is that about? What what is happening?
He's just going to arbitrarily, I guess, decide that we have proven ourselves as worthy subjects and may now remove our masks or something.
Just coincidentally right before the recall election.
Now, does Disneyland, because now it's shown that wearing a mask outside is pointless. And
right. Apparently
the
CDC just changed their mind right quick on that.
Studies, all that. So is Disneyland going to honor science, or are we still required to virtue signal and wear masks outside around the park?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
But I can tell you one thing. wearing a mask in the middle of July at
Yeah.
Disneyland is going to suck out loud. So I'm really hoping that they take that mask mandate away.
I'm kind of really hoping that you come back with a mask-shaped tan line, but
Oh God. And I would too.
that's just me.
I would
Yeah.
too.
Or
That's
sunburn. That'd be
yeah.
beautiful.
No, that's my souvenir. My family will be like getting like ornaments and
Yeah.
lightsabers and stuffed animals, and I'll just have a giant a
Yes.
giant sunburn.
Now, are you obviously we're aware of the at Disneyland they have the custom lightsabers and the custom androids and that are like only like $3,000 each, to
Yeah,
build.
no,
Are
I
you
think
thinking
2,000, but yeah, they're still a pretty price. Yeah, man, and it's like, and then I thought, okay, well, I was like, okay, I'll give the lightsaber fad some time, because
okay?
what's what you think what's gonna happen is that people that have already gone and have actually dropped $200, because it's literally $200 to go
Yeah,
through that lightsaber workshop, that the fad's gonna kind of wear off, and Disney's gonna lower their maybe lower the price. Nope, still just a nice cold $200. If you want to drop $200 for a I don't even want to say like prop worthy lightsaber, like not even
right.
something that they would legitimately use like on a movie set. It's probably just, I don't know, it's just battery powered. You stick a couple double A's in there, and then
You're hilarious. Disney's gonna lower its price at some point.
it never happens. Yeah, no, that's true.
Nate,
I don't think they've
Nate,
ever.
you're so naive. It's
They're like the
adorable.
Nintendo of theme parks, for all you vid nerds out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh
that's so cute. No, when Disney talks about, believing in your dreams, that's a dream you have to let die. 'Cause-
believe in your dreams. Believe that you will need that third mortgage.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you won't be seeing a lot of me over the next
Hmm.
next month and a half, because I'll be working. So
Nice.
I'll be
Nice.
working. I'll be working OT.
Nice. Well, I have to say, for my privilege check, my retirement plan is coming along fantastic.
Yeah, does it
Um,
sound?
because the key here is to diversify. And when I talk about my retirement plan, I'm talking about my kids. They are my retirement plan. And when I talk about diversify, I mean my kids are very different from each other, but I think they're both gonna like do well in different ways. And to illustrate this point, um, over the weekend, Connor really wanted to do a lemonade stand, and so
He likes doing those, doesn't he?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like I just remember seeing Facebook posts with you and your wife, and that dude is
yeah.
all about selling beverages street side.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and he would sell, ice maker to an Eskimo. Can we call them Eskimo? No, Inuit. I apologize.
Oh, is that the word now? Inuit?
That's the word now. Inuit. Eskimo was made up by some European dude, I guess. So
I thought Inuit was like a software company or something. Anyway.
no, that's Intuit, I think. But yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Anyway, yeah, no, he is
Yeah,
a
man.
little entrepreneur. At one point, he's having to adapt a little bit, because at one point he would just be like, "I'm going to sell these grapes for $1 each grape on the street
like
corner."
per grape.
Yes. And I think he got like a couple dollars from that, because I mean, how freaking cute is that? Like when he was probably like 5 or 6.
Oh my gosh.
And you got this
that's
little
awesome.
kid on the street selling
Yeah.
grapes for $1 each.
You're
I mean,
like,
how
oh,
can you not? Like,
You're like,
obviously.
okay, buddy, this is going to work once, maybe twice, but
Yeah.
after that, we're going to have to talk about your pricing structure.
Yeah, yeah. I might have to, it's not a bad model right now. It's not a bad business model right now, but you have to adapt to changing times.
You just give him a bunch of grapes. He comes back in the afternoon with $28.
Yeah. But so he wanted to do a lemonade stand this weekend, and he actually didn't have a lot of time to do it, but he did it.
Okay.
And so we have a lemon tree, so he like made his own lemonade from that, and that's always awesome. And he was like, okay, I want some help with this. So he actually hired Mason his older brother to come help him run
What?
the lemonade stand. And he
Oh,
he only had like an hour to do it.
okay.
And he
Wait, he
stole
only had an hour to prep or just an
no
hour to
no
sell?
to sell. He had like an
Okay.
hour to sell. And so they freaking sold out of the lemonade. They were
What?
selling it for just $1 a cup. And so afterwards, he made like $41
Jeez,
in
man.
an hour. And then he paid Mason $10 wages as an employee
What?
and freaking made $31
Oh my
net profit.
gosh.
Hired his older brother to help him for a 75% 25
Wait,
split.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. He didn't pay his suppliers. He's gonna get in trouble when the supplier comes around.
Oh, I know. See, that's why I'm like, I'll let it slide this time. But next
Okay.
time, I'm going to teach him about taxes.
That's right. You teach him about
I'm like,
sales tax. You're going to teach him about he's got to pay his suppliers, aka you and your wife.
yeah,
And you know he's gonna if you
employment
want to
tax.
yeah, he's gonna have to offer Mason benefits.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
he's gonna have to give him a dental plan.
Yeah, and I was thinking what I would probably do is so I'll teach him about taxation and kind of how that works.
Yep.
And then Mason, I'm going to teach about unionizing.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna have to pay off the unions.
Yeah, so I'll teach
Mason's
Mason
gonna
about
need
that.
some union guys, some Teamsters. He's probably gonna get connected with the mob at one point, but it's okay. He's got to ride that out.
But honestly, Connor's a bit of a ruthless negotiator, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just lays off his brother.
Connor is the mob.
Yeah, which that's going to be an awkward conversation. Like, especially like since they share a room together.
Right,
So,
right.
like, hey, we're not gonna take your option this year. We're gonna, we're moving in a different direction.
Mason's like, what do you mean you're switching to country time?
Yeah. What do you mean?
That's yellow swill, man.
So yeah, I think once he realizes the taxes are pretty heavy, and it's cutting into his profit margin, he'll probably have to lay off some of the staff. And
it's better to crush his entrepreneurial dreams right now, I think, than to have it happen after after he goes to school, tries to make a name for himself out in this great big world.
Right.
Just let him know, really stick it to him.
No, you live in California, buddy.
Yeah.
They don't reward, people they don't reward entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Hard work, ambition,
right.
dreams, all that just completely gets crapped on.
And then even if you survive all the taxes and the, and the employee payments and all that, all the overhead costs, at the end of the day, the government can just be like, yeah, we think your entire industry should close down for a little while, so you don't get to make any money.
Right.
So have fun starving, because apparently that's the power our government has over us, is to just be like, yeah, no, that thing that you depend on for literally everything in your life,
right?
We're going to tell you can't do that anymore. So have fun with that.
See, just so many important life lessons that he can learn. So that's great.
I think next time we'll let him get all set up and get everything arranged, make the lemonade, and hire his brother again. And then I think we're just gonna come by and just get some yellow caution tape and just be like, nope, can't do it.
We're shutting it down.
We're shutting it down.
We're shutting it down.
This is for everybody's health and safety. Yeah.
Just come up to him with a manila folder, just with 3 inches thick of paperwork that he has to fill out for his business. Just slam it down on the table next to the lemonade and say, you know what? You're not going to be able to continue, son, without filling all this out. That's just show him, give him a taste of the real world. That's what you're doing it right. You're a good father.
Thank you. That's what I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be good if I can kind of pit them against each other a little bit, kind of survival of the fittest style.
Yeah,
See which son is the
gonna
strongest.
Connor's gonna fire Mason, and then Mason's gonna be selling Tang across the street.
Yes, that's the goal.
He's gonna
I'm like, I don't care which one of you wins. I just want to see you making money.
That's right.
Because someone's taking care of me when I get old. So.
I want to see you fight for your father's love.
Yes. Yes. That's the plan. So I feel like that's my parenting tip: is pit your children against each other for the.
Oh man,
makes them stronger.
You are a man among men.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
The social net jerk.
Oh. This is the part of the show where we find people on the internet kind of just making fools of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another privilege check I'm throwing in because I'm getting notifications on my watch. I'm getting very interrupted today. It's really.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's really invasive. So
it's Connor saying we're out of lemons.
Probably. And so we have Alexas in our house. And so my family has this tradition of, instead of just, walking into the next room and talking to each other, they say things like, Alexa, ask mom, can we watch a movie? Or Alexa, ask mom, can I have a popsicle?
Oh my gosh.
And then she, from her Alexa, announces, Alexa, tell Connor, no, you cannot have a popsicle. Alexa, ask mom, why not?
Oh my
Alexa,
God. Wait a minute. And they're probably at most 2 rooms away from each other.
They're probably at opposite ends of the house because we've got the big back room.
You do have that palatial estate. So.
And then Esther likes to hang out in the front living room and stuff. So in the southwesterly wing.
In the southwest quarter.
Yes. Whereas Mason is Connor is in the
yes, of course.
northeastern wing. And so obviously, the communication is important. So and what happens though is when they do that, it doesn't just go to the next room.
Oh no.
It's another woof. And it goes to all of the Alexas in the house as an announcement.
Oh, dude.
And to any devices that have the Alexa app on them.
Dude, how? Why? What?
Including my phone and my freaking Apple Watch. So while we're talking and trying to record, I've got notifications about, hey, can we skip brushing our teeth before we go to bed? No, you can't freaking skip brushing your teeth, kid. What do you think?
Dude, look, I realize that you having to remedy this means dedicating probably an entire afternoon sometime to go into the settings of all these things and switch things on and turn things off. Yeah. But it might just be worth it, man. That's that would drive me insane. I would be pulling the plug on everything.
It's all I've just kind of succumbed to it at this point. I just my life is just a constant stream of notifications.
You're just living with HAL 9000. Boy, that's an old school reference right there.
Yeah, we're really showing our age in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just my life is just a constant stream of notifications, and
do you see what your level of privilege has taken you to?
Yeah, because it's like email. Sure.
This is nothing like email.
But it's similar in that, it's like, sure, you could go through and unsubscribe to all 3,000.
That's true.
Of those emails you get every day from random stuff where you looked at a store one time and they somehow got your email and have been spamming you every day ever since. You could go through and hit the unsubscribe button on those.
You could.
But are you ever going to do that?
No.
Because I'll even do that sometimes and I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to unsubscribe to everything that comes in.
Yeah.
It literally, it's like
I'll just do
trying to scoop the water out of the ocean. It makes no difference.
just they have your info,
Yeah.
and they're going to
Yeah.
drown you in it.
So that's what it is.
All right.
All right. So social net jerk. This is where we find people making a fool of themselves on the internet. This is interesting. So have you heard about these vaccines that
Yeah,
that are out?
somebody has mentioned them once or a million times.
Yeah. So there's these vaccines, I guess, that
Have you heard about this, folks?
yeah, they're going to help you not get COVID or something. So that's nice. Yeah. But of course they, alter your DNA and turn you into a mutant, as we all know. And that's obviously what it is.
Welcome to the lizard people.
So this guy Brian, he has a take on this whole thing. He says,
boy does he ever.
Once you take the jab, you will no longer have the DNA needed to enter the kingdom. Referring, I presume, to the kingdom of heaven.
I would assume at this point.
Your DNA has been changed to RNA, which is of the fallen angels.
What?
The D is the door, Dalet, I don't know, into the kingdom. And they, the Nephilim, are removing it through their venom and replacing it with the R, which is Ra, evil in the Hebrew tongue. The wheat, DNA, and the tares, RNA, will be separated very soon. I would really like to go to a Bible study with this guy.
Oh, dude, sign me up.
Can you imagine?
Oh,
this would be beautiful.
Gosh, this would be fantastic.
Yes. Look, I'm not a biologist or anything, but don't we already have RNA? Like, isn't that what duplicates our DNA and copies it?
Ribonucleic
and
acid.
It? Yeah, isn't that what reads our DNA and then produces more of it?
I'm pretty sure DNA wasn't around. Our DNA and the RNA, the concepts of them at least, weren't around when God cast the rebellious angels out of heaven. I'm just, yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
I am.
Yeah.
So he said RNA, which is of the fallen angels. So it must say somewhere in the Bible that, they're like, we're better than you, God. We have RNA in our system.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, if you take the vaccine, you no longer get to go to heaven. So bummer for all of you.
I was just hoping it would make me like a mutant, like X-Men. That'd be pretty sick. I'd have to reconsider getting the vaccine if that's the case.
Yeah, I think, that's probably my biggest concern. But I guess some people think it's like full-on Mark of the Beast or something. So
some people have said, this is it. This is your choice. This is your this is your moment in time, which is a real shame because I know a lot of really awesome Christian people that have gotten fully vaccinated. So it's a shame. I'll have to communicate to them.
I'll miss them.
You're damned.
I think my parents got vaccinated. I know my brother did.
Oh, that's a shame. So, that's really a shame.
Sorry, guys. Well, I guess you're not making it to heaven. So
yep, because you have RNA now.
Yes.
Which you've always had.
So the COVID-19, because there's this. So for those not hip on all the conspiracy theories, the idea
you just went
is
to QAnon.com, didn't you?
That's right. The COVID-19 vaccine supposedly enters your cells and changes your DNA. Johns Hopkins disagrees with that and says that the messenger RNA from the COVID vaccines do enter your cells, but not the nucleus of the cells where DNA resides. And so the mRNA does its job to cause the cell to make protein to stimulate the immune system, and then it breaks down without affecting your DNA. So,
wow.
basically, it's not going to actually affect your DNA. It acts similar
It's
to the RNA that your body already has,
yeah,
which if RNA, if having RNA means that you don't get to go to heaven, then nobody gets to go to heaven because we all
pretty
have
much,
RNA.
pretty much.
Because that's one thing I wasn't paying super a lot of attention
So,
in
in biology,
in high school biology, but
yeah.
that was one thing I do recall.
Somebody might want to tell Brian.
Yeah, so
That's gonna
Brian,
be
I got
that's gonna
some.
be disappointing for
If you
him.
have a problem with RNA, you're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this piece of information. Let me tell you.
Nothing but pure DNA
Yeah.
for me. Thank you very much.
I love conspiracy theories like this because it's like,
Yes,
um,
they have to get pretty creative.
that's what it is. It's always like confirmation bias where you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, I've come to this conclusion about stuff. And so no matter what, I'm going to make, the evidence, I'm going to try to find puzzle pieces that
Mm-hmm.
don't really fit together, but I'm going to connect those dots anyway
That's right.
and just make it work and see what happens. And you kind of you got to respect the art that comes with some of these, especially these kind of wacky when they get like kind of religious about stuff like this and like, oh yeah, RNA, like there's no biblical reason to assume that like taking this vaccine is gonna uh prohibit you from entering the kingdom of heaven. And there's no like the biological ways that he tries to tie it in don't really make any sense.
Hey, but kudos to him
But
because he mixed
yeah,
the spiritual aspect
yeah,
with the science. It
yeah,
wasn't just like, hey, by the way, this vaccination is the mark of the beast, and you're making your choice. He
yeah,
also tied it into completely bunk science, but had some really great wordplay to make me just think for a split millisecond that he might
yeah,
be onto something.
yeah, yeah. It was really good, really, really good job, Brian. Appreciate you putting it out there into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Oh, this is kind of similar to one we had last week. You wanna
Dude,
take
I
this
love
one?
how you save these apparently lately for me to. I have a feeling that these recordings are going to be used against me in the future. The fact that I had to read off last week's and the fact that I had to read this one, I find it very, very, I don't know, very
Yeah.
coincidental.
Mm.
Okay, here is another person that I do not want to be friends with. It's a guy with decals and bumper stickers all over the back of his Honda Civic.
Hmm.
I'm guessing it's a he based on the subject matter.
Um,
I truly hope it's a he.
I think it's probably a she.
What?
I tend to think that
What?
it, as someone who has been among the crunchies of the world, it is primarily females who are advocating uh,
Really?
on this. Yeah,
Hmm.
in my experience.
I think based on the subject matter, that's a stretch. Huh?
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just kidding.
All
All
right.
right, let's get into it.
Stop
All right,
teasing.
I'm sorry. Well, that could be part of it too. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first decal on the rear window, my gosh, says
Yes.
very, very, very clearly in giant letters, "Foreskin is a human right." And
Huh.
boy, is it ever. This person hails from New York, based on the plate. Let's see. Now I'm trying to get a look at one of the smaller
Yeah, the bumper
stickers
stickers are a
here.
little harder to read, but
A little
can you
harder to
read
read.
that?
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm trying to figure out the pink one. Let's see.
Oh man, I don't. I don't think it's going to show up. Yeah.
Something about foreskin. Anyway, it's something
Yeah.
supporting foreskin, no doubt. All right, the ones on the bottom is the ones that you can see clearly. That one of them says foreskin is essential to full sexual function. Okay. Oh god. The next one says adult foreskin equals 15 square inches. Hardly a little snip.
Wow.
Wow, there were even puns within that bumper sticker. That's fantastic. And then the third one on the bottom here says born whole, kept intact. And then I'm assuming it says the choice is his, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's what I think.
The choice is his. His body, his choice.
Well, my favorite part of this is foreskin is a human right, because automatically that means that 50% of the population is born missing out on this human right just from the get-go.
Really? That's a statistic, huh? That you looked up? That you researched?
Just based on how many women make up the population.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see where you're going with it.
I'm just saying, if foreskin is a human right, then that means women are entitled to have foreskins.
If I didn't know that half the guys born on the planet are born without foreskin, wow. That's a new scientific nugget that I'm going to take with me.
I'm pointing out that if foreskins are a human right, then that means every woman is entitled to a foreskin.
It's true.
And I don't think most women are aware of that. And so I think, honestly, we should bring awareness to that. And like, how
I know where you're going with this. Don't. Just don't.
How do we get that to them?
Well, maybe the non-Jewish men will donate. I don't know.
There's some directions you could go there. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, this is, and
upsetting. They're all below the belt.
Of all the So I just again something that we talked about last week as well, which was, what was it? Dogs give you colon cancer or something like that.
Pervert cancer.
Just the fact that these people hone in on just the most specific little niche.
Yes.
About arguing about something. And this is the hill that they choose to die on. It's just, my skin's off to them. It really is. It's no.
That was no.
Okay.
No,
all right.
That was terrible.
All right.
I just love that. Like this, you're making the conscious decision to be like, you know what I want my personality to be? Foreskins.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Without a doubt.
I want my personality to be like when people think of me, I want them to think of a foreskin. Like,
oh my
gosh. That's what I want to just like be my thing. Literally.
15 square inches. Wow.
Wow.
That's
for
literally a stretch.
Ooh, for me, it would be at least,
Okay. All right.
I was going to say 16.
That's gotta be you at your proudest moment, let's say.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That is, I just love that. I love cars like this, where they're just like, this is my hill. I'm going to die on. Like, not like nothing more. There's like no other, all the other human rights have been, accomplished. Sex trafficking, slavery, murder, genocide, all of that. We've done it. We've accomplished that. Kudos.
Yeah.
Now that all of those issues have been tackled, the circumcision thing, that's what we gotta. That's what I want. Because why else would your entire personality be about this one like activist trait? Like, I understand how like you can think that like, okay, you're mutilating kids or whatever, like whatever. But like really, like in the grand scheme of things, like I feel like there's just so many other issues. Like at least like include some other bumper stickers on there. Like it's just weird to make all your bumper stickers about this.
I can see these bumper stickers like maybe on the back of a cart, a horse cart, like in the biblical times.
Yeah.
Like somebody really making an argument, like this is not okay, guys. Come on.
Some like Gentile transplant into Israel, maybe.
Well, yeah, because back then, like when they found out that somebody like conquered, like one army conquered another, and then some poor guy was designated to give the entire army circumcisions or something.
Oh my gosh!
It's like who gets that lucky job?
Oh jeez!
My gosh!
Oh man, there are some great circumcision stories in the Bible. Let me tell you. My favorite circumcision story.
Wow, you have them cataloged in your brain.
All right. So this dude, it's Bible time, kids. Listen up. These are the Bible stories VeggieTales doesn't really touch on for some reason.
Oh gosh. Well, they tried to illustrate it on that one story with the talking bologna and the banana.
So this dude basically, if I'm remembering correctly, this one dude from like another kingdom, basically assaults this princess. I think it was David's daughter or something.
Sounds about right.
And so her brother's super pissed off about that, as he should be. But instead they're like, okay, we're gonna just play it cool, and like they want to marry the daughter, so we're gonna let them marry the daughter. But we're gonna say that, okay, in order to do that, we need all of your men in your entire kingdom to be circumcised.
Naturally.
And so they do that. So they're like, okay, we'll do that, and we'll get circumcised as a sign of respect. And so while all of the men of that kingdom are freaking recovering from having their foreskin removed,
oh god,
this brother takes an army and just freaking massacres them. And they can't do anything about it because they're freaking...
because they're sidestepping, they're hobbling around.
Can you imagine those guys just like trying to defend themselves while they're just like
ice.
I need more ice. Yeah, and that's the funny part. Like they didn't even have an ice pack, so literally they're just like, I don't know what did they use to like as anesthetic. Gosh. They had nothing. They're just chilling there, and they're probably like all pantsless because you don't want anything touching those. And and freaking
dude, they probably just knocked each other out with rocks so that they just didn't have to.
But he just goes through.
That was their anesthesia.
He just chops them all down. He's like, and honestly, like, can you blame him? Because, like, dude, man, if somebody did that, like, to someone I love, I will circumcise you and freaking slaughter
and then kill you while you're disabled.
Yeah.
Oh man. What a way to disable your enemies. That's just
oh my gosh. It's like so freaking messed up. I love that's what you atheists are missing out on. Stories like that. You really gotta like I know you probably you think it's all about a tomato and a cucumber going on adventures, but it's so much more than that.
So much more than that. It's interesting. I don't think our soldiers nowadays are getting that in the military handbooks. They're getting if you want to take out your enemy, you know what to do.
Hey, maybe the IDF. I don't know, but probably not timely. Not our military.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
okay.
Yeah. So maybe that's another argument against circumcision right there, is because
there you go.
Then
you aren't going to be able to fight any wars if you
slaughter all your men.
Right.
Something to think about there,
Mm-hmm.
And so what we have learned applies to our lives today. Now I really just want to see a VeggieTales about that. How freaking awesome would that be if VeggieTales
That would be
just
if
like
if
decided
they were
screw
that
it,
bold. Yeah.
just screw it. We're doing this story. Well, a lot of people don't actually realize VeggieTales actually did the story of Bathsheba, and a lot of people
Yes.
don't know that, but they actually did. It was very like metaphorical. King George and the Ducky, and so instead of taking someone else's wife, it was taking someone else's bath ducky, rubber ducky.
Oh, great.
Which
Well,
I don't know if
Bathsheba
that's
was
better or worse, because then it's like, well, now it is property. It's like not even pretending
right. Now you're not even talking about a human being. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
Bathsheba was bathing, but all right.
yeah, so it's actually probably the creepiest VeggieTales scene ever.
A little bit.
Is
Yeah.
when Larry the cucumber is like looking out at his balcony and sees Junior in a bathtub with a ducky.
Well,
Whoa.
yeah.
A little weird.
I think they could easily do something with Larry the cucumber and talking about circumcision. Something about
Oof.
those two that.
Oof. Yeah. He had his crown removed in that episode. So
Oh man, moving
all
on.
right. All right. Anyway, moving on. This next one was just a fun little. I love Facebook ads. They're just so
This is
hilarious.
upsetting.
So this is someone from our Facebook group spotted this on the old Facebook Marketplace, where they've got like actual local stuff you can buy, but
Sure.
then they also push like ads for online purchases and crap. And this one is just hilarious because it's some kind of whitening toothpaste listed for like $2. And it shows a before and after picture.
Boy, does it ever.
And the first photo just is full on like, okay, so you're into meth.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like a meth head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the girl, like if she were to close her mouth, she'd look pretty, but with her with her mouth open and she's attempting a smile and there's just a giant gap of teeth missing right in front.
Yeah.
And her teeth have done what all the meth heads' teeth do, and that just become the little chiclets in the mouth there. Like you could just pop them right out.
Yeah. Starting to think this whole meth thing is not such a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear.
But so it has that as the before picture, missing teeth, little chiclet, misshaped, whatever teeth she does have, are looking wonky. And then it has an after, and it's just like this perfect smile with straight, perfect white teeth.
Oh man!
I'm like, man, $2 toothpaste can do that. That's awesome.
Whitening toothpaste, which is what they're supposedly advertising. Yes, they can actually implant teeth, perfect, beautiful teeth, into a mouth where all the teeth are disheveled and missing.
It's kind of what I love about like modern advertising with the advent of the internet. It feels like we've reverted back to like 19th century, like Dr. Swarson's cure-all, snake oil kind of stuff, where you just like make these outrageous promises of these, random products and just like expect people to just eat it right up and like, oh yeah, this will, cure your receding hairline. It'll cure your bad breath. It'll make you lose weight, cure cancer and all that. And, they were really selling, well, probably meth back then, cocaine at least.
Yeah.
And then we had like I feel like we had a brief sliver of time between the sea monkeys and the internet.
Sea monkeys, the ant farm.
Yes. X-ray glasses, sea monkeys,
and then build your own plane.
Yes. And then we had in the 90s they kind of chilled on those, and then with the internet advertisements, it's all back to just like full on, you know,
Love it.
this one secret that Dr. Oz and the government don't want you to know about buying a new home
Right?
or whatever, and we kind of
look,
gone back to that.
I could tell right off the bat that this was a fake, not just because it was a horrible, whatever Photoshop job, not because they were selling $2 whitening toothpaste, because that first picture with the meth head, she's wearing at least a fake gold necklace. Now, she would have pawned that a long time ago to get more meth.
That is
so.
A great
I'm
point.
sorry,
Yeah.
but there is no credibility to that photo to begin with, let alone all the other stuff it stinks of. So I'm just going to put that out there.
That is a fantastic point right there. Good job. All right, moving on to our final segment.
Ugh, that's problematic.
All right, this is the part of the show where we choose a random topic, which we selected thanks to the wheel of problematic at the beginning of the show. And we discuss why it must be problematic, because as we know, everything is problematic. And we put it out to our Facebook group. So if you want to get involved, if you enjoy the show and want to get involved and contribute to the content, a lot of our content these days is listener submitted. And that's especially true of this segment, where we put it out to our group and we just ask them for their thoughts on why this topic is in fact problematic. So head on over to our Facebook group. It's SBAZ, the Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone.
We wanted to make it easy for you.
Yeah, really easy. SBAZ, Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone. It's this special section of the internet that is autonomous, and it's just a wonderful area where we can all just kind of make fun of woke culture, people on Facebook being ridiculous, right wingers, and just everything really.
Everything's fair game.
Everything is almost everything is fair game.
Yeah, okay, all right,
almost. There's a couple times I've had to be like, all right, let's not do that, guys. But for the most part, it's we try to be pretty even-handed.
Sure.
So we put it out there on our Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone on Facebook, but we also put it out on Not the Bee, which if you are a subscriber, a paid subscriber of Not the Bee, you get access to their social network, which is pretty awesome. And I must have mistyped it because it's taking me to some really sketchy website. So I don't know what I just typed, but
something about circumcision is a right.
Yeah, it was not the Bee. So there we go. Now I pulled it up. Okay. So I put it out there to Not the Bee, and I've gotten some thoughts on that as well. So Nate, if you want to kick this little journey off and see what our listeners say is problematic.
I'll kick off the spaz side here.
About gluten.
So Chris says, not you, another not Chris me. Says,
right.
Nobody who says they're allergic to it actually knows what it is.
Ooh, that is controversial.
Shots fired.
Those are fighting words for some people I know and love very dearly.
You're like people that are really going to have issue with this part of the episode.
Yeah. Sand Trooper Bard from Not the Beast says, being intolerant of it. See, by this time in the show, my mouth gives out. I don't understand it.
You need a refreshing lemonade from Connor's stand.
I apparently do. Being intolerant of it means that you have to eat bread that tastes like cardboard. Cancel culture sucks, man. Anything else adds, and it falls apart. That part bothers me the most. Yeah, that is the biggest problem with anything gluten-free. It like just crumbles.
Oh, yeah, it's just
Um,
it's got nothing to bind.
Anything else says, I just want a hamburger on a non-disintegrating bun.
No.
I also miss being able to just eat out without having to research the restaurant like I'm buying a new car every single time.
Amen.
I'm guessing anything else has a gluten sensitivity, if not celiac.
I think so. That's what it sounds like. Let's see. Nate, not me, another Nate.
We need
says,
people with new names. Everybody's named Chris and Nate.
My gosh. Let's see. He says gluten comes from wheat, a grain that European whites farmed and gained privilege from and used that privilege to oppress nomadic minorities.
Whoa.
And then he follows right up saying gluten is a tool of colonizer oppressors.
Dang. That's a good take right there. That's a great point.
Gluten
is racist. Gluten is white supremacy. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Watery Tart from Not the Bee says, as I have gotten older now in my 70s. Oh, wow. You are so old, Watery Tart. It has become, I love that name, by the way, though. It has become impossible to eat anything having gluten without suffering from acid reflux or bad indigestion. So sad, because I really love my carbs and fresh homemade bread and sandwiches and bread and butter and biscuits and gravy. Yeah.
Don't we all? We all, Watery Tart?
I don't even have a gluten sensitivity, but I'm cutting way back on carbs, and I feel that in my heart.
Todd says gluten sensitivities are almost statistically insignificant, but have a great position in the current food fashion.
Ooh.
Yeah, another shot fired for the gluten-free community.
There's the oof. Yeah.
It's interesting to see how many people are going to directly attack the gluten-free community,
or
just make a joke around it.
Yeah. And the waters of gluten-freeness are very muddy. Because obviously there's people with celiac, and I know people who like.
Oh yeah, yep. I do too.
If they eat gluten-free bread off of a plate that had regular bread on it, like it'll give them a stomach ache.
Yes,
like super sensitive to all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But and I know people who with a lesser degree and maybe even a self-diagnosed gluten sensitivity, but it's like, well, I mean,
right.
Who am I to argue with them if like they've tried time and again and they notice, hey, I have gluten and it gives me a stomach ache. I don't have gluten and I don't get a stomach ache. Like,
and I'm stomach ache free.
Like, okay, sure, it could be something not gluten, but if it works for you, then like it's probably gluten. So, but it is funny because also, like, I remember especially, like, I feel like in the late 20-aughts, like the 2008, 2009, there was just like a rush to be like gluten-free. And it was just like this movement of everybody and their mom was just like, gluten sensitivity is a thing. And they acted like gluten was inherently like unhealthy universally, and they're just like, I'm cutting gluten out of my diet because it just sounds like the right thing to do because my friend did it, and so that really muddies the waters, because then it's just like, well, not everybody is gluten sensitive. Like, maybe you just need to chill on the carbs. I don't know, but it is the waters are muddy, and I have seen like studies that were done. It's been a few years now, but there were studies that were done where it's like a whole bunch of people who were self-diagnosed gluten sensitive. Like they did some studies and basically found that there was no actual difference between like gluten free and non-gluten free. When they, tried both and all that stuff, and they like did these controlled tests and stuff. But that doesn't mean that's true of everyone. That was just like most of the people in a study. So,
you're taking this whole segment to a really serious direction that I didn't think we were actually doing. But this is good. This is I'm learning.
There's a term I like to take that is infotainment. I stole it from another show, and that is what we are here. You think we're just a couple of schmucks, a couple of circumcised schmucks who just
Mhm.
are here to just be goofballs. But no, we're tackling the real issues here. Like,
That's
what
right.
if gluten sensitivity is a thing? And the answer
Yeah.
is, I don't probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
15
right.
square inches. All right, let's continue.
All right. Whose turn is it? Go.
Shoot,
You
I don't
go.
know.
You go.
I'll go. Bradley says gluten is delicious and makes people happy. This means it must be a byproduct of capitalism. Thus, it's problematic.
That is an excellent point. All good things come from capitalism. Therefore, gluten is capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
At least for those of us who don't have a sensitivity or celiac. Grace for Bobby from Not the Bee says, my wife makes an amazing gluten-free sourdough bread. I might be able to convince her to share the recipe if anyone. Okay, this is okay. Whatever. Okay, stop talking about your wife's cooking or baking.
He's like, and if you just check out her food vlog.
Right. Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead. I have less than you, so go ahead.
All right. Megan says, it's intolerant of me. It doesn't conform to the size I identify with, which is misogynistic and racist. Also, fat shaming.
Wow. That is wow, all the things. It's race.
Yeah.
So it's racist, it's misogynist, it's fat shaming, it's all the things.
Yeah, she's using the checklist.
That's good. Anything else wanted to add? I did not break up with gluten. Gluten broke up with me. I was the stalker ex-girlfriend for a year before I figured we were over for good. And this person says they were sick all the time, had several trips to the ER for IVs due to quote-unquote food poisoning and rashes. We're getting their entire medical history. This is great.
You had to know that people were going to start getting kind of serious and sensitive about this.
Yeah. And now they're uploading photos. Oh, this is great. That's did not need to see what it did to your butt there, but okay.
Please tell me there's a colonoscopy link.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's the video feed. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How does this thing have 1 million views?
I don't know. All right. Anyway, what else do we have? I'll take one of these.
Yeah.
Robert says gluten doesn't have the decency to collaborate with healthy foods and therefore disproportionately targets people of size with its harmful effects. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. That doesn't sound true, Robert.
Does it matter at this point? Does it?
We need the facts, okay? We need the facts over feelings.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Got to take a moment to give Robert a shout out though, because this is a good kind of promo for our Facebook group, Stunning and Brave Autonomous Zone. Robert found one of the most incredible things ever, and it is a Joel Osteen InspiroCube. It's a real product where you can get pre-recorded inspiration from Joel Osteen's. I can't call them sermons because it's not what they are, but they're like motivational talks. And he did a full-on video review exclusive for our group. He bought it per our request, and then he did a full-on unboxing review, and it was just so beautiful. Robert, thank you so much.
Yes, that was awesome.
You the real MVP.
No matter how you feel about gluten.
Right.
It's okay.
All right. You want to take this last one?
Yeah, but which one, though? The second one could get Ann in some hot water, I feel. Ann says it's super rude and gives me a stomach ache and makes me feel bloated. That's what's problematic about gluten. And then she just goes on to talk about Asians or something in the second one.
I only see one. I don't see.
You don't see the second one she posted?
No, I see one comment. She says,
okay.
Gluten is rude. It makes me feel bloated and gives me a huge stomach ache.
No, she typed something else.
That's rude, racist, and sexist.
Yep.
Clearly, if I was an Asian man, I would not have any adverse effects to gluten. You know any gluten-free Asian men? Yeah, me neither.
That's a very astute observation.
I have not really thought about that. Yeah.
I haven't either, but apparently she's done some research.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. There's, allergies tend to be genetic or whatever. So if maybe it's more, gluten intolerance might be just intolerance of gluten might actually be a white supremacist thing.
True.
Might
Very
be
true.
Might be that. And do you ever, like, especially in like third world countries where like people are starving, how many people in those countries are like, oh, do you have the gluten-free option?
Well, it goes all the way back to Chris Rock's stand-up where he says, you think anybody like in Uganda has a lactose intolerance?
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
We have the privilege as a society in the States to be allergic to all sorts of things.
Right. Although, to be fair, the more likely reason is if someone does like have freaking celiac in a third world country.
Oh yeah.
They probably just have a shorter life expectancy. So there's that. So that's a nice note to end on, right?
That is a high note right there.
That's a nice thought.
This is
one of the problems when we go a little too stream of consciousness is that stream, water runs downhill and it can go to some pretty some pretty dank places.
Yep.
So
speaking of dank places, 15 square inches.
Yeah.
What? Keep going.
Speaking of dank places, foreskins are a human right. So
if you leave with one thought after listening to this,
I was debating whether to tell my circumcision story because I told the circumcision Bible story.
Nope.
But
the bonus segment is no longer a thing. You don't have to do it. You don't have to.
All right.
If it's that critical, you can save it for the next episode.
All right. Hey, listeners, if you want to hear my circumcision story,
goodness gracious. If that's something you want to hear, then stop listening to the podcast. That's all I got to say. That's my input.
Nate's like, if that's something you want to hear, kill yourself. So
I didn't say that. I came close to saying that, but I didn't say it.
And I'm not saying that either. I think if you want to hear it, more power to you. And, let us know. You can, there's contact information on our website, stunningandbrave.net, or just mention it, in the comments of when we post the show or whatever, wherever. Yep. You know how to, you're smart. You have the internet. You can figure out how to get a hold of us. I don't need to tell you my email address. Nobody uses email anyway. We have Facebook Messenger. Don't be such a Luddite. All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
If you're not telling everyone about this show, you're probably a potophobe and a Nazi. Don't be a potophobe. Tell your friends and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe.